Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Abdul Aziz. I am from the class 2018. In this video, I would like to explain to you about my mini proposal for the subject English academic purposes. Before that, let's say Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's begin. Okay, for the title of my mini proposal is the implementation of teacher techniques in teaching vocabulary of action verb at the 8th grade MTSN Pulau Kupang, Kuala Kapuas. So the reason why the writer chosen this school is when the writer sees the neighbor's child attending online school at home. So the writer sees the teacher using separate techniques to teach English, and the students respond to the technique. So the author decided to choose the school as place of research. Another reason is the writer found teachers using techniques in teaching action verb to their students. Okay, now for the background of study, the first point is according to Smith and McAday, vocabulary is a stock of words used in a language. So the more students have stock of words used in a language, the better they will perform. Vocabulary mastery is the ability to acquire or accept many words and know how to use the vocabulary in the context. So, in the learning English, vocabulary is a very important aspect in learning language. To communicate well in foreign language, students will acquire a sufficient number of words and know how to use them accurately. Okay, for the second point is grammatical items do not have many meanings, but are used. Vocabulary terms are also sometimes taken to include grammatical items. According to Daniels and Freeman, grammar is about prompts, and one way to teach prompt is to give student rules, but grammar is more than prompt, and teaching will be poor if students are simply given the rules. So we know in the second grade of junior high school, students should be introduced to some basic topics of grammar. Grammar consists of prompts and rules, as the lesson put it. So one of the grammar is a verb, which is included in the part of speech. Verbs can be taught in action verb. So action verbs are one of the basic categories of verbs in English grammar. Action verbs are the basis for the student to make simple sentences. Action verbs also are verbs that specifically describe what the subject of the sentence does. The power of action verb lies in the meaning and intonation they contain and how they bring direction and strength to the sentence. So therefore, teachers must be good at teaching. However, not all teachers have educated teaching techniques for their students. This can be seen and measured from student understanding of the material being taught. So when used correctly, it can encourage students to more quickly and easily understanding the lesson and vice versa. So for the third point is the purpose of the study is to improve the techniques used by a teacher in teaching action verbs, providing basic information for others researchers who wish to conduct the same research in a more enriched study, while incorporating these techniques in the classroom can help improve student vocabulary. So in addition, incorporating these techniques in the classroom can help improve students' vocabulary. By mastering vocabulary, students will know the meaning of vocabulary in its context. Okay, and now for the research question. After doing research on school in MTSN Pulau Kupang, Kuala Kapuas, I finally found several problems, including first, what kind of techniques are used by the teacher in teaching vocabulary of action verb at the 8th grade of MTSN Pulau Kupang, Kuala Kapuas? And the second question is, how are the implementation of teachers' techniques in teaching vocabulary of action verb at the 8th grade of MTSN Pulau Kupang, Kuala Kapuas? And for the last question of problems, how are the students' response of technique in teaching vocabulary of action verb used by the teacher? And now for the research objective. First, to know the techniques used by the teacher in teaching vocabulary of action verb at the A grade of MTSN Pelakupang Kuala Kapuas. And the second point is to analyze the implementation of teachers' techniques in teaching vocabulary of action verbs. And the last point is to find how are the students' responses of technique in teaching vocabulary of action verbs used by the teacher. Okay, now for the research methodology. For the first point is the author uses a qualitative descriptive technique in this study. So the point is the author wants to describe the teacher's techniques in teaching vocabulary of action verb at the A grade of MTSN Pelakupang, Kuala Kapuas. And for the second point is the population in the study were two English teachers and 64 students from two classes, class A and B, at the A grade of MTSN Pelakupang, Kuala Kapuas. Okay, now for the third point, in this study, researchers will take 20% as a sample. So the researchers took 32 students as the sample of the study. It meant that the writer conducted a number of interviews to obtain data on what technique the teacher used in teaching vocabulary of action verb. So in this way, the technique can be used to obtain data on the number of students. And an overview of the research sites. Interview research will be better if it is supported by data from exciting respondents. Okay, now for the last point in the research methodology is to get data. The author conduct a number of interviews and distribute questionnaire. So questionnaire were used to measure student responses and remember action verbs to find out student responses about the teacher techniques in teaching action verb vocabulary. The author uses a questionnaire to obtain data. It is used to obtain data from the improvements, both the responses and the English teacher's techniques of teaching and learning in the course. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Dah, goodbye.